But oh my god. Ew. Disgusting. Hello YouTube, welcome to this fine day, and today we are going to have a look at Lagrella the Magpie and his target Brawl. This deck aims to win by creating a ton of value by blinking your own creatures and basically triggering their enter the battlefield effects again. So, Lagrella the Magpie, when she enters, I can exile basically one creature from the opponent and one of my creatures until Lagrella leaves the battlefield again. And when one of my creatures enters my side of the field this way, it gets 2+1/+1 counters on it. So, first I thought this card wasn't really strong, but there are some really nice things you can do with Lagrella. So first and foremost, the obvious play is you can exile the opponent's commander, and if they just, leave it under Lagrella, there is always the possibility for them that they can't kill Lagrella again and they don't get their commander back. So they sometimes just want to put it into the command zone, but that is basically the same as actually removing their commander. You can also just exile tokens with it, and obviously your own creatures, for example, just a regular Sylvan Ranger, Wall of Blessings, like enters the battlefield, draw a card, like that's just a nice curve. So you go 2-drop and then 3-drop Lagrella, exile something from them, just annoy them a little bit, and you get your value for the future stored under her. Another good play you can make with Lagrella is just setting up in a way where you're pretty resilient to board wipes because you exiled something big from your side of the field. For example, just a Thragtusk, right? It leaves, you get a 3/3, so now your board is like a 3/3 and a 2/3, and that is a threatening board for a lot of decks. And then they board wipe and you get back your Thragtusk, and now it's super annoying for them, right? And because then when they also have removal for the Thragtusk, then I get the 3/3 again, and yeah, it's overall quite annoying to deal with for the opponent. So this deck also has a basically birthing pot suit, and we have only 2 cards that allow us to pot our creature ups into more expensive cards. The most simple of them is Neoform. We sacrifice a creature and then we search for a creature with 1 more mana out of like research it and put it onto battlefield, just straight up. So what does that mean for us? If we have, for example, just a random 2-drop lying around, we can grab a Skyclave Apparition to deal with problematic permanents. We can get value with a Seagate Oracle. We can play into future turns against, for example, Grixis control or whatever, by getting an Uro into our graveyard. We also can interact, like, there are so many ways we can use this, and the deck is really built in a way to abuse Neoform and also Vivian of the Hunt, who does the same thing on her +2 ability. That is insane. If you do not have a board set, whatever, you can just minus, get a 4/4 Rhino, minus again, and she's basically an army in a can that just does absolutely nasty things if left unchecked, and then the +1 can just get you card advantage. So overall, card is pretty great. So you might ask, how often do we actually use Neoform? And actually quite a lot, because this deck runs a bunch of tutors, and it doesn't look obvious at first, but they're basically they're interacting very nicely with each other. For example, our Neoform, we Neoform from a 3-drop into a 4-drop, and now we can get a Timeless Witness. Timeless Witness brings back Neoform. Neoform, sacrifice a 3-drop again, get a Thassa Deep Dwelling. So now we can Neoform something else again and pot it up, search for another creature, and then we blink the Timeless Witness in our end step, and we get the Neoform back again, and our Solve the Equation helps us get there. A Finale of Devastation can search for certain creatures, and we also just have a bunch of card draw and filtering with these creatures. We obviously have the, you know, Blink All-Stars, Panharmonicon, Yorion the Sky Nomad, Restoration Angel, Teleportation Circle, overall just really, really nice creatures, or, you know, permanents that allow us to basically double up or trigger our enter the battlefield effects again. But there are some infinite combos in this deck. The most obvious ones include Timeless Witness and Time Warp. These two cards together play really, really nicely. So, for example, if you have a Thassa Deep Dwelling, you can Time Warp, get it back with Timeless Witness, blink the Timeless Witness in your end step, get back the Time Warp. Now you have infinite turns. The Thassa can also be replaced with an Ephemerate because it's basically cast twice. So the two cards you're getting back are the Time Warp and the Ephemerate itself from the Rebound specifically. So you can go infinite that way. You can also create infinite ETBs, or like if you have a Panharmonicon, just get more infinite value with Lagrella the Magpie and Restoration Angel. And the way this works is we want to have Lagrella, we want to have the Restoration Angel under the Lagrella. Which is pretty easy to do because when Restoration Angel enters, blinks something, and then it blinks the Lagrella, and then the Restoration gets hidden under the Lagrella. And then we want a blink effect that immediately returns the card. So something along the lines of Ephemerate, a Cloudshift, right? Touch the Spirit Realm doesn't work because it returns it at the beginning of the next end step. But something like a Momentary Blink does work. So now we order the triggers in a way where we are first putting the Restoration Angel trigger on the stack, targeting Lagrella. And then we are going to put the Lagrella trigger on the stack and hide away the Restoration Angel on it. And what is going to happen is Restoration Angel gets hidden again, and then Lagrella gets blinked, and now we are in this infinite loop of infinitely blinking basically the opponent's creature, so you can basically remove an infinite amount of creature tokens from their side of the field. If you have a Panharmonicon, you can exile an additional creature from your side, so you can just get infinite ETBs. If you have a Soulherder, that gets infinitely big. You draw infinite cards of Guardian Project. So there are a whole lot of combos with very, very minimal deck building like restrictions in here, which I really, really enjoy, right? Like, this is just a pure value engine that just happens to run a bunch of infinite combos in here. The mana base here is nothing too special, honestly, just color fixing, and our top end is like Titan of Industry. That is the big bad guy from the latest set, and the Titan does a lot. Also note, Titan can put the shield counters on the Rhino that the Titan creates, so if you have nothing better to do, blink Titan and get a 4/4 shield counter Rhino, and it is just insane. Overall, I think I'm pretty excited to play this deck and show it off to you. And if you enjoy my gameplay, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and let's go. We are ready to play against Kogla. And yeah, and should be pretty good. Oh, Shaper Sanctuary does draw them a ton of cards here. Okay. Oh, I accidentally shocked this in. Oh well. Maybe they're scared now. Let's see if that is going to matter. Curse of Silence. Man, you would have been pretty nice last turn. But I think I just want them to draw a card here of the Shaper Sanctuary. Just willing to slow them down, basically. Yep, you draw a card. And yeah, they put it back into the command zone. And now I can Curse of Silence it as well. And the good thing here is that I can exile something, obviously. Okay, how do I do this? Curse of Silence, Cloudshift. Let's draw No, I'm going to let them draw, but I think my priority here is to not die first. Okay. Draw. Yep. Now Signet. Curse of Silence, name in Goreclaw. Okay. Next turn I can pot this Lagrella away into 4-drop, but I don't think that is what I actually want to do here. That's an old oddity. No blocks. Sure. Oh, that's just beautiful. Currently thinking, do I just want to flood the board with rhinos? Is that just the play? I mean, it's a boring play in a way, but, you know, a cooler thing would be Elspeth's Conqueror's Death, and then next turn Yorion blinking the Elspeth's Conqueror's Death, and the Lagrella, and so on and so forth. But just creating a board presence seems reasonable. If this is transformed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, cost 7, so they can actually transform that. No, you know what? I think I like just going for the Elspeth's Conqueror's Death here. Although, if I Thragtusk, I just make a huge board. Maybe the Thragtusk is better here. The reason why I don't like the Elspeth's Conqueror's Death currently is because it draws them a card here. So they're more likely to get their land for the Old World Oddity. And I don't have anything in graveyard right now. Yeah, and I'd much rather deal with something like that, right? Okay, Titan of Industry is coming down, and then next turn I'm just going to Yorion. So, Rhino and destroy, yeah, Shaper Sanctuary. No attacks. And then the Yorion should deal a significant amount of damage. Well, not actual damage, but, you know, just really mess them up here. Yeah. Don't see how they can come back from that Yorion. Ooh. That's double the power. That is double the fun, after all. Honestly, just trade this, and then I'm fine. So I take 10, but I'm just getting so much life here, right? Yeah. Well, I am at 10, not take 10, but oh my god. Ew. Disgusting. I can hide away the Yorion under Lagrella. No, this is going to be extremely brutal. Yeah, and they just surrender to that. GG. We are ready to play against Goreclaw. And let's see. No white, 3 white cards. How greedy can I be? I have a Seagate Oracle to get another white source. I have Fateful Absence, but I'm going first, so I don't think I need to be that reactive. Yeah, this is much better actually. So let's see. Yep, draw a card off of this beautiful thip. Would have loved for this to be blue or green, obviously, but can't really do anything about that. I think I want to play a Glass Pool Mimic tapped here. Doesn't matter too much what I do at the end of the day here. I can just save that. Tree line, no attacks, and yeah. Buffalo Haven, sure. Garruk's Uprising, sure. Now I can do some cute things here. Problem I have with this is I don't have double blue. Yeah, that was the reason to play the blue here, so I can Mold Drifter and keep up the one blue for the wash away, right? But, yeah, and then also keeping a blue... Well, I top deck the green, so... Tricky. I think I just want to drop the Guardian Project here, gain my card advantage. I think I can just still deal with their board quite decently with Gorklaw, like with Lagrella, I mean. Ooh, they flash in something. That is cool. You know what? I'm just going to pass the turn, because I'm such a mean guy. Yep, your go, opponent. No attacks. And I hold up Wash Away, and I can Once Upon a Time as well. It's beautiful. In case you're wondering, they can flash in something of the Emergence Zone, so they have 4 mana at instant speed available right now. Just gets shuffled back into my deck, right? What did they select? They selected... Can I play C? What they... I have it here, it doesn't show me... What? I'm so confused. Is it everything? I think it's everything, right? Oh yeah, it's just everything. That's a fight. Yeah, all of that is fine, I think. Yeah. Choose one, kicked. Kane's life, 2 counters, sure. You got it. This is fine. Prowling Serpopard, sure. That is a card, certainly. And now they're going to Gorklaw. Yep. Once Upon a Time for a land Ooh, Baron is so annoying for them. Those are the kind of cards I want to see. Although this Knight of Autumn looks really nice with this Garruk's Uprising. It's whenever enters, right? Maybe I'm supposed to pick the Knight. Yep, sure. Oh, well now I want the other one. No, it's fine, kinda, right? Yeah, it's pretty fine. Skyclave taking Prowling Serpopard? What then, though? They ramp into something big, that's annoying. I think I just have to limit their card draw here. And we get to hit a land drop. Okay, the scary thing is going to be multiple big threats that I can't exile with Skyclave. Old Norbone is kind of fine. They get basically infinite mana here. So they have 10 additional mana. With the Emergence Zone, that's just really threatening. Okay, how do I do this? I think I want a Lagrella. The Skyclave, their commander. Okay. Can I let them hit me with Old Norbone so I can take this Prowling Serpopard with the Lagrella? Is that a play that I can do so I can keep up the wash away? Oh, they said oops. Yeah. Oh wow, they permanently exiled their commander? Well, that's unfortunate. Okay. Okay, you go away. Going to draw a card here. It's obviously quite annoying. They currently don't know how to deal with this. Toski. Oh, that is extremely threatening. And that is just lethal, I believe, right? Yeah. Good game. That was amazing. GG. We are ready to play against Quasar. And yeah, this is a perfectly fine hand. Not sure if I'm supposed to once upon a time for a 1-drop or a tap land. There's nothing I specifically need here, but in those cases, it's better to hold off on the once upon a time for a turn, so I have more information on my next draw step. Yeah. Let's just wait a turn on that. Okay, now I want a once upon a time here. I think I want the Seagate Oracle in this case, right? So I can... Do I want to set up my draws with this Charming Prince or not? I think I do. Just get my land drops. Cloudshift is a bottom, but I don't think the Ephemerate is, because that's just so much more value, right? So Seagate Oracle is going to hit, and I think I want to Ephemerate an Uro eventually at instant speed. So let's see what they're going to do. Search for Scatter, that's fine. Swing in. And we use our Seagate Oracle. And we just want to hit land drops here. Yeah. Timeless Witness is not needed. It's a ton of value, but this is not that kind of matchup. Is there a combo deck? So I need to pressure them. Also, I just need my mana, right? Assume they have something at 1. Oh wow. Man, if you were an untapped land. I could Uro hoping to get an untapped white source to put into play. But no, I think I just want to Moldrifter here. Kind of sad, but it's what it is. Snarl actually only comes in untapped because of the Arctic tree line. This comes into play untapped later on anyways. So yeah, I'm going to play the tree line here. Bit weird, definitely a bit weird. Okay. I mean, if they play the commander like just right now, I'm going to exile it with Lagrella, right? But yeah, they didn't do that. Let's swing in. Yep, that happens. Going to Uro, I believe. Holding up. Like trying to Ephemerate it to accelerate my mana. So we need to order the traders in this way, so we draw play. Putting a Snarl into play. Okay, and then Ephemerate the Uro. We still haven't made a land drop, I believe. We can just play the Balagate Recovery as a land. Now we don't have an island to play, right? Yeah. Yep, this is fine. Although, I think I'm considering playing this Balagate Recovery as a card. It draws me 2 cards off this Moldrifter, and I think that's pretty important, honestly. Okay. We're still like 3 power on board is not to be underestimated. Yeah, they're Getting rid of the approach, I assume they have their combo in hand right now. Well, their one card combo, that is. Yup, I wanna exile you, please. If they get rid of it, it's fine. Heartless Act, sure. Okay. Ooh, that's a Neoform. What do I want to get off of that? Oh, nothing apparently. But yeah, I think it's fine if I just get rid of all of those, but I want to give him a 3/3, but like this is very tricky, very tricky. I just played the Kogla. That is probably pretty great. I can Kogla and Neoform. That's good to know. Yeah, I can just Kogla, Titan, put a counter on it, destroy the Search First counter. Maybe that's a bit too aggressive, honestly, but I think I like it. Kogla, Neoform, and we can still battle get recovery the Neoform. Although, maybe I just want to go for pure pressure. So that would be Rhino and a token. Yeah, I think we can leave the that on the field. The reason why we put the shield counter on the Rhino, by the way, and not the Titan, is because I believe they have targeted exile, right? And if they can target exile something, they're always taking the Titan. And then, I mean, it's slightly worse against the board wipe, Doomscar, right here. But I still think this was probably correct to do. Let's swing it first. We can Fibblethip, Neoform into something. We can. Let's just draw. And we can Cavalier. That's pretty good. Like a pretty threatening board here. One. Yep. You. And then end the turn. I should have just not. Yeah, that was kind of a mistake. Choosing the Fibblethip. But oh well. Okay. Farewell. Exiles everything. Wow. Wow, this is the first time I've seen Farewell being good. Honestly. 3 draw here. Yep, Alligat. And with that, I mean, I usually wanted to have a 4 mana wipe because I usually personally play very aggressive decks, if that makes sense. In a sense, like combo Storm, so Farewell doesn't really affect me too much. I mean, it's an okay Magic card. I think it's nice. Let's see. Pressure. Yeah, let's hide away this land valves with the Lagrella, shall we? Or not? No. We need the pressure. We can still just infinite them out of the game, right? Eventually. We're going to play Quasar to stabilize, that is fine. We use your Castle Ventress. Illusionist Stratagem. Yeah, it cantrips. So let's do that. I want to tap this as well. Okay. Blink. Draw, exile, a bit. Where do you go? I assume they just put it under... Oh, interesting. Let's see. Yep, Visionary is fine. Okay, and I assume we're dead here. And that is the game. GG. We are ready to play against Sorin. And... interesting. We don't have a payoff, we do have a lot of blinking. We're on the draw, so I think we can keep it. Maybe I want to have a bit more interaction. It's interesting. I'm going to keep it. We have so many like good 2-drop creatures in the deck. Okay, that's a good 4-drop creature. If I don't draw anything, I think I'm just going to play this Mimic as a land. Oh yeah, it's something, but we can play that while we're, you know, using the Mimic. So that's pretty great. Will they kill the Savior? Probably. I mean, at the end of the day, just represents a kill spell out of their hand anyways. Vampire into the battlefield. That is definitely one of the better ones. Would just be a shame if, you know, something happened to it. How scared am I of that? Love to have some value honestly on the field, because I can just blink so many cards here. Maybe I'm just supposed to play Soulherder now. And then if I draw anything that generates me value, I can blink it and Swords the Sanctum Seeker. I think I have some time here.
I bestow a mighty curse.
So take a bit of damage here, that's fine. The life total doesn't really interest me too much. Downfall. And could just Lagrella. I think that's honestly pretty decent here. Just stealing away the tempo a little bit. I know they can just play any vampire, sacrifice it, but then they still have to spend the mana to play the vampire, then sacrifice it to kill the Lagrella. Hard to sack, totally fine. Yep. This is not a matchup where Lagrella is like the main focus for us, honestly. This is a matchup where Lagrella just buys us time, right? I can play the Thassa here and Swords. I think that's pretty good overall. I can just blink the Sylvan Ranger next turn. I'm gonna see what they do. The Sorin first. I'm gonna Swords that in response. Yep, that's fine. Now I can just get more white sources here, which is honestly pretty great for the Elspeth's Conqueror's Death. And I think past turn, and now we're just drawing an additional land each turn, which is pretty nice value. We're never going to miss land drops here. Another white is what I want, probably. Or Cavalier and whatnot. Yeah, pass turn. Now we can also tap down their creatures. I assume they just have a bunch of big creatures here. I'm not sure why they didn't play anything last turn, honestly. Bit confused. Put a vampire from their hand onto the battlefield. I assume it's big. Decently. Tap this down. I wanna tap you down. Swing in, kill their Sorin.
My heart is too hollow to care.
And I wanna end the turn. Draw another land. So now at this point, I obviously just want to have like actual card draw. Like I do get a bunch of card advantage from the Silver Ranger, but I think I eventually want to, you know, just get something different. Yeah, I'm not too worried here though. We have Elspeth's Conqueror's Death to really basically just delete any threat that's on their board. Epicure of Blood is pretty good as a threat specifically right now. Okay, they put a lifelink from that, sure. Don't think I could jump and then Ephemerate, but I want to be a bit greedy and like immediately go off as soon as I draw a different ETB. Oh yeah, just like that. Oh, that's pretty great, honestly. And I think I want to definitely... Ah, I messed this up. I could have done more damage to the Sorin, right? I do want to get rid of the Epicure. And then... pass turn, play my Cavalier of Dawn. And Cavalier of Dawn plays really nicely with an Elspeth's Conqueror's Death. So that's pretty good. We're basically equalizing. That's what we're doing here. If they can like kill the Cavalier, then I can just... Yeah, sure. I'm going to trade my Golem for that. Yeah. I can just like Ephemerate the Cavalier as well. Pretty great. Block you, block you. Yep, just like that. Do we have an enchantment in the graveyard? No, we don't. And we are just going to blink this, not use the ETB. Submit 0, I think. Decline. Kind of sad, but we need to attack right now. Yep, Fabled Passage. Thinning is winning. I think a bit more green doesn't hurt. And now we just go Elspeth's Conqueror's Death on the commander. We swing in at their Sorin Vampire Lord. And I think I really like hitting my own Elspeth's Conqueror's Death here with a Cavalier. There's nothing of value that I specifically want to reanimate right now, and if Cavalier dies, I return my Elspeth's Conqueror's Death, so they would have to exile this Cavalier right now. And yeah, this is just a really nice engine that we have going on here. I also can just tap something down in their end step with the Thassa Deep Dwelling. And if there's just like animate Hive of the Eye Tyrant try to attack, I can tap that down. Overall, a bunch of options. We do want to hit basically one of our many, like, you know, Neo forms, solve the equation. There are a lot of draws that like turn on this hand, basically. Technically one of them. Technically. Yeah. I can Lagrella. First and foremost, just attack, I think. Right? Yes, sure. Lagrella, I can destroy my own Lagrella. How much mana would I need to spend on that? I have exactly enough for Lagrella and a Castle Ventress here. But I think my board is good enough. No, maybe I just wanna... Just wanna get rid of that Drana. Maybe I'm not even supposed to, like, blink anything here at the end step. Just like that. Yeah. End the turn. Submit 0. And we're just going to use this cast of interest to draw gas. I just wanna, like, not die here. That's really what I want. Okay. Destroy all creatures, that is fine. That deals 4 damage to me. And now the true power of Cavalier kicks in, because we are looping a Cavalier and bringing back an Elspeth's Conqueror's Death. So that is pretty great. And we're just going to scry, and we just need action. Oh wow. That's action, I guess. Yeah, seems like action. Okay, but you play... We Elspeth's Conqueror's Death, we can just... you can also activate the Castle Ventress again. I don't think I need to get rid of this Dusk Legion Zealot. If we Meteor Golem, we can still tap down the Hive of the Eye Tyrant though. Yeah, maybe just Meteor Golem twice, and then I have the Meteor Golem as a reanimation target ready with Elspeth's Conqueror's Death. I think I do want to have an upkeep stop here for the Castle Ventress. Arterial Flow. Each opponent discards 2 cards. Blood Burglar. So tap this down in the end step. No reason not to. Upkeep, Castle Ventress. Draw action here. Oh. No. Weird. Really weird. Really weird. Like, Neoform is obviously great. Keep for Lagrella. If I top, I have Neoform into, like, Lagrella, Timeless Witness, Neoform, Thragtusk. So that's definitely a play that I want to do next turn, and then I guess I can just keep the Cloudshift. Yeah. Swing in. And the Cloudshift removes their Hive of the Eye Tyrant at instant speed, which is pretty cool, I think. So, yeah. I think we got this game. I think we got this. I just don't see how they're just dealing any damage to us, really. So let's see. They're thinking. Like, anything they play will basically has to do something immediately, or is almost just not worth playing. Bond of Revival, sure. Do I want to tap that down, or do I want to use the Cloudshift? I think I want to use the Cloudshift for the Hive. Tap you down, and they surrender. Yeah, and the play here next turn was Lagrella, then Neoform for a Timeless Witness, grabbing back the Neoform, and then Neoforming again into a Thragtusk to stabilize on life, creating threats, and then just keep blinking that with Thassa. GG. We are done with the game, so I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. And yeah, Lagrella the Magpie can do some really nasty stuff in Historic Brawl. So, basically, first of all, sadly we didn't get to do the infinite thing, but sometimes, like, the deck really likes to lean into either stomping the opponent or, you know, just slowly dying. basically the key here is you want to have usually one draw engine on the field. The problem is, I mean, I already have a bunch of them. There are some that I excluded for redundancy. For example, there's another 5-mana one. I basically just right before the video cut this for a Cavalier of Dawn, because in previous test games I found that I really wanted to have the target of Cavalier of Dawn for a Neoform line of a 3-drop into a 4-drop, and then I want to have some interaction with a Cavalier. So that's why I included it. It's really tricky how to construct this deck. I think like you have a bunch of options, maybe more draw. I really enjoy this overall I think the pod package is just amazing, like Neoform, Vivian, Timeless Witness, then you have your like Thassa into Time Warp combo, and then you also just have your what's it called, solve the equation to grab the Neoform or just grab the Finale. I think all of those cards I just listed are pretty core to the deck, at least in this version, because they form individually powerful cards that you can use to get out of any situation basically, or just close out the game. And I think there's just this package overall is really strong. If you want to play this deck on a budget, what can you cut? What do you need? And again, 3 color, you really want your mana fixing, so get that in there. You can, like in this specific deck, you can get away with playing a couple more tap lands than in like other lists, because sometimes you can just, like in the late game you're going to use all your mana, right? But that sometimes you don't have too many turn 1 plays honestly in this deck, so like having a tap land on turn 1 doesn't really hurt too much. But overall, just get your color fixing in here. You don't need the non-color fixing lands necessarily, but you know, color fixing would be great. Also, one more thing here. I'm only playing 38 lands. I think this is a bit too low. I basically cut a land for a Sylvan Ranger. That's what I did here, and the what's it called? Once upon a time can also just grab a land, so that's why I'm that low on lands, but maybe you want to add another land. Anyways, the package that I presented to you previously, I think is a pretty core engine to the deck. So you definitely want these cards here, right? These are pretty great for the deck, and you want your cute one-offs. Baron specifically, you can also just use a creature that just bounces any creature, but Baron is the best one because it can also bounce a Planeswalker, and also, which is quite relevant, sometimes bounce your own creature. You draw a card off that, then you can play that creature again, get more value, right? Cheap interaction is always great, but you don't necessarily need this cheap interaction. I mean, Swords to Plowshares is just an absolute staple, but it's like, it is clutch. Specifically, the sword can be clutch of a tutor with a solve the equation, because then it's just a total of 4 mana. So you might want to have a one-off good removal spell at the very least to search off your solve. Saber Sanctuary, not needed, but a great draw engine, right? Sentinel, not needed. Like, most of these are just not needed. Ephemerate is pretty great. Honestly, it is the best blink spell by far out of all of them, and it can just create some infinite combos, so you might want to look into getting that. Having more 2-drop draw spells, a critical mass of that is going to be great for this deck, but you can't just replace Fibblethip with a 3-mana one. It's just going to be, you know, worse for certain play patterns, like 2-drop Fibblethip, 3-drop Lagrella. That's not just not possible with a 3-drop instead. But overall, I think you should be fine. Night of Autumn can be replaced by Reclamation Sage. This is just slightly better. It gives you the option of gaining life as well. This is just a ramp at 3 mana. There is also one that looks at the top 5, puts any land from there into the battlefield. You can just replace that. You can just replace this with a land if you don't have it. But obviously, like any card that I'm talking about that you don't have and you don't like it makes your pod package worse and worse. Like you want to pod into Uru sometimes, right? You want to pod into a Glass Pull Mimic to copy something sometimes. You want to be able to pod into Apparition. So I think these cute one-off creatures are probably really important to the deck as well. Panharmonicon and Guardian Project, amazing value engines. Teleportation Circle as well. These cards are here just basically, again, almost core of the deck, basically. Yorion, Thragtusk, also I consider almost mandatory. And then the Vivian. And here you can... I personally feel like these are the best ones, but you can also play Horned Queens, Thorn Mammoths. Again, I just think these are the best out of all of the big targets that you're finishing into. Toveler Huntmaster is also what you can play if you want to flood the board with creatures. Overall, I think the deck has some flexibility in the deck building aspect. If you have this core that I previously talked about, then you're mostly going to be fine, I think. I'm just not exactly certain where I go with the whole deck, and maybe I want to have more draw, but usually, like, you want to have one draw creature, but you don't necessarily need more than that. Because like once you have the one draw creature, then you're drawing into more draw and into more draw, and then maybe just having more draw in the deck is where you want to be. But then again, I just don't know what to cut. Like Late to Dinner, for example, I wanted to have a reanimation spell in here, and this can also allow for very, very dirty lines. Again, like a lot of lines that revolve around Timeless Witness, bringing back things. Then you get your Thassa bringing back more things, and just overall a ton of value that you can have. But basically, I don't know what to cut. Maybe you want to cut a Momentary Blink, but if you're on a budget, you're cutting, you know, an Ephemerate instead or whatnot. Yeah, hope you enjoyed today's deck. Enough rambling for today, and I will see you in the next one.